Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. Giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator, the Maker of heaven and earth. My name is Yeshaya Yisrael of the tribe of Dan of the nation of Israel. This particular presentation, brothers and sisters, we do not intend for it to be long. Nonetheless, we will like to, brothers and sisters, with the time allotted, and with the people who respectfully decided to listen in currently or will listen later on, I would like to give you something worth your time and your attention. Brothers and sisters, I'm asking you to subscribe to the channel. I'm asking you all to get your pens, your pads, your paper, and take notes. Everyone may not agree with the presentation. Nonetheless, it is in due love and respect and reasoning. I am open to constructive criticism. My telephone number you see on the bottom of the screen, 908-587-4841. 908-587-4841. If you find it kind in your heart to donate, you can by going to Cashapp, $Franksson1, FRANKSSON, 1. All right, for those who are interested. So without any further ado, we are going to pull this up, the PowerPoint, and we're going to start in the beginning of this, brothers and sisters, for edification purposes. All right, how's everybody feeling? If you are feeling well and you're in good spirits and you can hear me pretty well, please type in the number 4. Thank you. All right. What we're going to do too, pardon, and this is just my way of doing things, I'm going off camera because I want the point in itself. All right. I understand in many cases it's a thing where it's like, oh, let me see you as the person speaking. And I appreciate that. Nonetheless, we want to have the lesson to be focused on. All right. Is meat permissible in Hebrew culture? Shalom, giving honor to the Creator of heaven and earth. This presentation will address the matter if meat is part of the Hebrew diet and if it is permissible in the Hebrew culture. Now, why do I mention that in that case? Because certain things may be understood as permissible in the culture, but is it part of the culture? Was it something that was added along later? Like some people try to say about divorce, which we already went over discussing Deuteronomy 24. You understand? We ask you all to take notes and ask questions and make comments. Shalom, Sarah Michaela of the tribe of Judah, and thank you for pressing the number 4. Shalom to the brother Saul Yehu Ben Lewi. Brother, if you're still online, much due respect to you. I want to state that I'm asking you, Saul Yehu, and any other brother that is in the understanding of Hebraic linguistics, tune into this channel. No, pardon me. Tune into this channel come January 26th. It's a so-called Thursday. This channel here, I'm going to type it in. More Yeshaya Hebrew lessons. All right, that is a channel online. January 26th, 6:15 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go over the definition of the 12 tribes of Israel and other names within the book of Genesis. All right. So hopefully everybody is in good spirits. Hopefully everyone is feeling well. And I hope and pray, brothers and sisters, that your day is well and that your week will be well. And that you are good and will be better. Next slide. Let the book speak. One thing we must point out is that the scripture says, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Genesis 8, verse 21. If the imagination of man is evil or ra from his youth, and we see they shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity in Ezekiel chapter 7. If the diet of the Hebrews allowing meat is to be eaten, there will not be any stipulations on what is eaten. What do I mean by that? If man's imagination is evil from his youth up, why will the laws on diet in the Israelite culture have things that you cannot eat? You will be able to eat anything. Let man make laws. Whatever can be done will be done. Whatever we want to do, let's just do. Ali Austin free for all. Let's have a big party kind of matter. Man will not have laws on diet that has stipulations. I have heard Israelites say, and this is no knock on any man or woman, I have heard Israelites in the understanding of Israelites say, we can't eat pork, but pork tastes good. I have heard Israelites with fringes on talking about how good pork tastes before they came into this understanding. And this is no knock or disrespect. My mother, may she rest in peace, she said the hardest thing coming into the understanding of Israel was not the Sabbath, was not giving up on wearing pants and wearing skirts instead. It was shrimp. My mother, who raised me in the understanding of Israel and gave me a spanking when I did eat crabs at the age of 7, she stated when she came into this in 1982, the most difficult thing for her in Israel life was giving up shrimp. I'm saying all of that to say that how is it that we are hearing Israelites say that these laws were made by man, but yet there's stipulations on what you can eat out the sea, what you can eat on the ground, and what you can eat that's in the air? Let's go on. You shall not make yourselves abominable with any creeping thing that creepeth, neither shall you make yourselves unclean with them, that you should be defiled thereby. Now, if man made these laws we see in Leviticus 11, you know what we will read? I ain't perfect. You ain't perfect. See no evil. Hear no evil. Do no evil. Monkey see, monkey do. That's man's statements. The statements of the Most High God is you shall not make yourselves abominable. Man don't talk like that. Because man's going to say, you do you, bruh, and I'm going to do me. You mind your business, I'm going to mind mine. That's what man would say. The Most High would say, you shall not make yourselves abominable with any creeping thing that creepeth, neither shall you make yourselves unclean with them. We don't deal with the ramasim. Ramasim from the word ramas, which means to creep. Be it the person is a creep, or be it the animal that's a creep. We try not to deal with that, O house of Israel. Let's go on, please. An explanation. An adulterer will not want to think Leviticus 20 verse 10 is an actual law. A homosexual will not want to think that Leviticus 20 verse 13 is an actual law. You know what the law that says, and with the male that shall not lie, as with the woman, it is an abomination? You know they try to say that's not talking about homosexuality. You know the law that says, Lo tiyeh kwadesha miknot Yisrael. There shall not be a female sodomite of the daughters of Israel. You know they try to say that means a temple prostitute. It's not talking about women sleeping with women carnally. Because the down low man has a slick mentality. They feel it's not the act, it's the being in such. You understand? So as long as they don't call themselves G-A-Y or H-O-M-O, they feel that they're not in violation. Meanwhile, the laws of the Most High, without any, quote, creepiness in it, any kind of ruach of the remes or the spirit of a creepy one, that's Leviticus 18:22. and with a male, zakar, regardless of the age of the male. Lo tishkab, thou shalt not lay mishkabe isha, from the lanes of a woman. So while it is not the Sabbath, and I'm saying this in due respect, the lanes of a woman, two males are not supposed to do. So whether they call it from behind, riding on top, scissors, sideways, or anything of that sort, two males are not to do that in the laws of the Most High. So we want to sit there and get into this for edification purposes. A person who sacrifices children will not want to think that Leviticus 20, verse 1 through 5 is an actual law. Leviticus 20:26 tells us why we were given the laws in that chapter. Leviticus 11:41, Leviticus 11:44 tells us why we were given the laws on diet. To them that deeply feel eating a diet, not against the commandments, you may want to spend time talking to them who love adultery, homosexuality, and child sacrifice. Because in our laws, child sacrifice is not condoned. Homosexuality is not condoned. The kings of Israel, such as Asa and Jehoshaphat, who got rid of the Sodomites out of the tribe of Judah, they are commended. So what are these Kemetic so-called conscious community people talking about? The laws in Leviticus were made by the Greeks in the Septuagint. Greek culture does not go against homosexuality. There's no laws in Greek culture speaking against doing such. And as far as adultery goes, America, all you got to do is then become separate. Well, you're still legally married, but now you're separate. And brothers, if you're dealing with a woman that is quote unquote separated, she's still married in our culture. So again, the slickness of man, we're saying, well, you're not really married. You're just separated. It's not really murder if you do abortion, even though if a man or a woman puts a pregnant woman to death, he or she is charged with double murder. But when you go over to the clinic and have them put the vacuum by the vaginal canal to suck the baby out, and then take the scraper and go on her vaginal walls and skip the residue of the child away, while she's on the thing and can't see because they feel it's dramatic, we talk real on this channel, brothers and sisters, and ain't even got to use profanity. Sisters told me on how an abortion is. That's how I know. You understand? So somebody wrote in, Rehoboam let the perverted people in the land. Yeah, see, Rehoboam, not to get sidetracked, how you doing, House of Jacob? Rehoboam let that in there. Then you have Rehoboam, Abijah, and then Asa. Asa, king of Judah, the grandson of Rehoboam, the great-grandson of Solomon, the great-great-grandson of David, had to get rid of that stuff. Can a woman leave her husband if he didn't give or do a bill of divorcement? And I don't mean to sidetrack your question. Is a woman and a man married without having a bill of marriage? If there is a balance in a just weight imbalances in Israelite culture, Proverbs chapter 11, where it says a just weight and a just balance. If you have a bill of divorce, then by default, you will have to have a bill of marriage. Now, I know that's not what you're addressing or asking, House of Jacob, but I just wanted to put that out there. Can a woman leave her husband if he didn't give a bill of divorce? Yes. Yes, because the Most High said, if he does not do the conjugal rights, if he does not perform the rites of marriage, which is one thing, and her food and her raiment, Exodus chapter 22 says she shall go. If you're not doing husbandly duties in your marriage, then your wife gets the right to go. So yes, to answer that question. So I just wanted to put that out there. When you read in the laws of the Most High, it's in Exodus chapter 20, somewhere between verse 9 and verse 13 is where that portion is. All right, I'm going to type that in the room there. Exodus chapter 22, We can read the whole chapter in time, but that's where that portion is at. So if he doesn't do the husbandly duties, such as the conjugal rights, such as the raiment, and such as her food, then he can wind up losing her as his lady, as his wife, yes. Shalom, brother Moray 18. All right, so I just wanted to point these things out for reference purposes. Next slide. Now, Jeremiah chapter 7, which some brothers and sisters quote regarding the diet matter. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, put your burnt offerings unto your sacrifices and eat flesh. For I spoke not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt, saying concerning burnt offerings and sacrifices. But this day commanded I them, saying, obey my voice, and I will be your God, and you shall be my people, and walk ye in all the way that I have commanded you, that it may be well with you. But they hearkened not, nor inclined their ear, but walked in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart, and went backward and not forward. Let's stop there. Israel, we're supposed to be a progressive people. Israel, in Jeremiah 7, it says went backward and not forward. So why are people saying going forward is a bad thing? Oh, you think you're doing too much. You take too much on yourself. Be humble. Don't be prideful. Moving forward is not pride. It's hearkening to the word of the Most High. It is generally taught that Nachshon of the tribe of Judah was the first Israelite to go on dry land when the sea parted. Because everybody else, according to some records, are like, I don't know about going on there. But he had the heart to say, this water is not there, I'm going to go on my way. He later on became, if we are dealing correctly, the same person as Nachshon of the prince of the tribe of Judah that you read in the book of Numbers. So moving forward is not a bad thing. As we pointed out, Yisrael is a futuristic people. Not meant to be going backward, but forward. Now, it says, in the imagination of their evil heart. Let's go back here. It says in Genesis 8:21, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. So again, I'm asking, if diet has laws in it in the Hebrew culture, and man's heart is evil, where there is no restraint on his wickedness, why will there be laws saying what you cannot eat? Stipulations come from one that has authority over you, not from you. People later on say, I got to put barriers on myself. Note to self, do this, don't do that. But when you have a law already before you, with stipulations in it, that did not come from man. And I want to expound upon this, how we know. The laws of a woman when she's unclean shows that to be the case. Wherever she sit, wherever she lie is unclean. And the man that sits after that, he too is unclean. Will man say that? Will man write laws in Leviticus 15 in which he is not allowed to be carnal with his wife when she's unclean from the first day of her uncleanness until the seventh? So let's expound upon. If she gets unclean starting on the month, on this, let's say a so-called Sunday, Yom Rishon, and her uncleanness comes in on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and it stops there. She's not clean until that next so-called Sunday. If she bleeds again that next Sunday, and only that one day, it's outside of the cycle, like Leviticus 15 talks about, you, her husband, cannot be carnal with her until the next Sunday. So it's 2 weeks after the first matter of the uncleanness. Will man write a law like that? I'm talking to the men of the house of Israel, the males. Any brother that is up there teaching that the Torah given to us is man-made, why will a man write a law saying he can't be with his wife for 7 whole days? What man you know is writing that? Let me find that. What man is going to write a law that says if a woman has a baby, he can't be with her for 80 days? That's by man? Man wrote that? Man wrote that he can't even sit there and see her pereka, if I got my Hebrew correct, her flowers of her blood? A man is never even supposed to see a woman's uncleanness. He's never supposed to see that. That's in Leviticus. Let man write laws on that matter of the vagina and see what happens. And uncleanness. You got this person on the internet saying uncleanness was made due to your diet. Even though ancient Hebrews, ancient Egyptians, and even ancient Chinese all talked about a woman's uncleanness. Man did not write the laws in Leviticus. You understand? This is something we want to emphasize for edification purposes. If I can be heard, and if everyone's in a good mood, please press the number 4. Thank you. But they hearken not, nor incline their ear, but walked in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart, and went backward and not forward. Since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt, unto this day have I sent unto you all my servants the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them early. Early. That's how Israel's supposed to be. Solomon talked about the lazy one that rolls in his bed like the door on his hinges. I'm tired. I'm tired. Now, you got cranky morning people. I'm related to some. And then you got some people like me that is not a night owl. I'm a brother who does wake up early. Sometimes people say, don't send me, even my blood sister, don't text me so early sometimes. I'm still asleep. Okay, granted. But the point that I'm trying to convey, brothers and sisters, is that this says that the prophets daily rising up early and sending them. Yet they hearken not unto me, nor incline their ear, but harden their neck. They did worse than their fathers. Hosea, Isaiah, and Jeremiah all lived in different times. Isaiah was 70 years or so after Hosea, the prophet. Jeremiah was 60 or so years after Isaiah. So from Hosea saying, return Israel, and then Isaiah saying it, and then centuries after Hosea, Jeremiah saying it, Israel, we got to do Shubah, return. Even if we believe our generation is not going to make it out this wilderness, you still got to return. Next slide. Exodus chapter 19, verse 3. And Moses went up to Elohim, and Yah called unto him out of the mountain, saying, thus you shall say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all the people, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be unto me a Meleket Kohanim, kingdom of priests, Malkut Kohanim, Meleket Kohanim, a kingdom of priests, and Am Kwadosh, a holy nation. These are the words you shall speak unto the children of Israel. So when they came up out of the land of Egypt, that's what they were told, to obey the Most High. And they will be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. So brothers and sisters, when we are reading in Jeremiah chapter 7, it's not man saying that man taught you to eat meat. The quail that the children of Israel had, quail is clean meat, brothers and sisters. You understand? These are things we want to point out for edification purposes. Now, it was gluttonous. They wasn't satisfied with what they were given, so the Most High gave them the quail in their anger. In his anger, sorry. But that doesn't make quail unclean. You understand? In this before, I did a lesson called, were the laws in Leviticus 11 man-made or made up? In it, from Genesis, we read that Abraham, whom King Manasseh in the Apocrypha said did not sin. We read that Abraham told his wife to quickly fetch a kid and to feed whom he didn't know were the angels of the Most High God. Brothers, It's one thing to promote vegetarianism. It's one thing for that. It's another thing to sit there and say that our book is a lie from its beginning to its end. I am Old Testament based with some core Tanakh base, or I'm Tanakh based with some core Old Testament base. The people in the New Testament ate meat. Let's go on, brothers and sisters. Leviticus chapter 11:46 and Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 7 through 8. To make a difference between the unclean and the clean, and between the beast that may be eaten and the beast that may not be eaten. And you shall be holy unto me. What man is saying that? Man is not making the law saying, be holy unto me. Man, you know what man say? Yo, stay in your lane, B. That's what man will say. Man will do things like take shots at other men because they don't want the shine to go away from him. That's what man would say. Man is not going to tell man in his own volition, I want you to be holy. Men in Israel tell other men in Israel, you think you all that. You think you somebody. That's what men say. The Most High wants us to be somebody. Don't you see the difference? And you shall be holy unto me, for I, Yah, am holy, and have severed you from other people that you should be mine. You know what man would say? I ain't perfect. May he rest in peace, Biggie Smalls, in the movie Notorious. He was noted for saying when he gave crack to a pregnant woman that he was not out there to be no social worker. That's what man says. Did you see the movie Notorious? When he sold crack to a woman that was pregnant? He was like, yo, you just sold crack to a lady who's pregnant. Yo, I ain't out here to be no social worker. That's what man would say. So we can tell by the words in the scriptures and the words of men, this ain't coming from no man. Nevertheless, you should not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the cloven hoof, as the camel, and the hare, and the coney, for they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof. Therefore they are unclean unto you. And the swine, good old piggy, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud. It is unclean unto you. You should not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcasses. Do you know when me and my lady was in Costa Rica, pork is a delicacy in that country, and there's no knock on the country, because pork is a delicacy to my family in the South and the North. So I'm not trying to knock on Costa Rica. I'm just making that point. Her and I seen a truck full of pigs. When we was in Egypt, the people were trying to convince us to eat camel burger. No, we're not eating the gamal, the camel. We're not eating the kazir, or the swine. We got our own laws. Next slide. Daniel, in the diet he had in the Babylonian captivity, we know that the people like Daniel ate pulse, which is vegetables. We know that we have to eat. Excuse me. So to say that Daniel ate not meat, but pulse is a reason we should not eat meat is one thing while in captivity. However, many are saying that meat is not to be eaten whatsoever. That is the point we want to point out. As my lady Sarai wrote, being a vegetarian is a personal choice. It is not law. And we're going to show that it's not law. Let's look. Were the laws in Leviticus on diet created by man? If so, why were there any stipulations or anything whatsoever, knowing mankind is wicked? We went over that. What is the meaning of Jeremiah 7 and saying eat flesh? We went over that. What are the priests to eat in the offerings? Now, what you see there on the meme, the flyer, right, is the food that my lady Sarah made. Smothered lamb chops with rice and vegetables. The other one, callaloo with rice and with food on that plate. So my diet has changed drastically being with the lady I'm with. I thank the Most High for such. Let's let the book speak. Leviticus chapter 10, verse 8 to 13. And Yah spoke unto Aaron, saying, do not drink wine nor strong drink, thou nor thy sons with thee, when you go into the tabernacle of the congregation, lest ye die. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations. And that ye may put a difference between the holy and the unholy, and between the unclean and the clean, and that you may teach the children of Israel all the statutes which Yah hath spoken unto them by the hand of Moses. And Moses spoke unto Aaron and unto Eleazar and unto Itamar, his sons that were left, take the meat offering that remaineth for the offerings of Yah made by fire, and eat it without leaven beside the altar, for it is most holy. And you shall eat it in the holy place, because it is thy due, and thy sons' due, of the sacrifices of Yah made by fire, for so I am commanded. And the wave breast and the heave shoulder shall ye eat in a clean place, thou and thy sons, and thy daughters with thee, for they are thy due, and thy sons' due, which are given out of the sacrifices of peace offerings of the children of Israel. The heave shoulder and the wave breast shall they bring with the offerings made by fire of the fat, to wave it for a wave offering before Yah. And it shall be thine and thy sons with thee, for a statute forever, as Yah has commanded. And Moses diligently sought the goat for the sin offering, and behold, it was burnt. And he was angry with Eleazar and Itamar, the sons of Aaron, which were left alive, saying, wherefore have ye not eaten the sin offering in the holy place, seeing it is most holy? And Elohim hath given it you to bear the iniquity of the congregation, to make atonement for them before Yah. Behold, the blood of it was not brought in within the holy place. You should indeed have eaten it in the holy place, as I commanded. And Aharon said unto Moshe, and Aaron said unto Moses, behold, this day have they offered their sin offering and their burnt offering before Yah, and such things have befallen me. And if I had eaten the sin offering today, should it have been accepted in the sight of Yah? What's going on? Aaron's sons just died. He's definitely not happy. Moses is telling him, it is your due to eat of the sin offering. The sin offering that we just read of here, and we're reading in Leviticus chapter 8, is the goat. Goat is flesh. Goat is flesh. So the priests of the Israelites, as was asked here inside of this, what are the priests to eat in the offerings? Part of what they ate required it to have flesh with it. A goat is a clean animal. So what are we talking about when we say that those laws were made up? Because again, not to be funny or disrespectful, if man made up the laws in Leviticus, there will never be a time in which a man and a woman cannot be carnal. Let man tell you. In high school, they call it earning your red wings. Some women even know what's being spoken about. Some women experience the guy saying, well, if you bleeding and you going through your menses, just put a towel down. Some men have actually told women that. So that's man's thought. That's not the Most High's thought. As it says, his thoughts is above our thoughts and his ways above our ways. So getting back into this, the priests of Israel ate flesh. Leviticus 6:14, let the book speak. And this is the law of the meat offering. The sons of Aaron shall offer it before Yah, before the altar. And he shall take of it his handful of the flour of the meat offering, and of the oil thereof, and all the frankincense which is upon the meat offering, and shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor, even the memorial of it unto Yah. And the remainder thereof shall Aaron and his sons eat. With unleavened bread shall it be eaten in the holy place. So this meat offering, or mincha, or meal offering, had flesh in it. Right? With unleavened bread it shall be eaten in the holy place. In the court of the tabernacle of the congregation they shall eat it. It shall not be baked with leaven. I have given it unto them for their portion of my offerings made by fire. It is most holy, as is the sin offering, and as is the trespass offering. all the males among the children of Aaron shall eat of it. It shall be a statute forever in your generations concerning the offerings of Yah made by fire. Everyone that toucheth them shall be holy. Next part. Let the book speak. Numbers 18, verse 8. And Yah spoke unto Aaron, Behold, I have given thee the charge of my heave offerings, and all of the hollow things of the children of Israel. Unto thee have I given them by reason of the anointing into thy sons by an ordinance forever. This shall be thine of the most holy things, reserved from the fire. Every oblation of theirs, every meat offering of theirs, and every sin offering of theirs, every trespass offering of theirs, which they shall render unto me, shall be most holy for thee and for thy sons. In the most holy place shalt thou eat it. Every male shall eat it. It shall be holy unto thee. You know where we can gather? If I can be heard, and if people are in a good mood, please give me a number 4. The sons of Aaron can eat this, and that is their due. To put a difference between the clean and the unclean. You cannot, correct me if I'm wrong, be in an unclean state and going into the holy place. So if you an Aaronite and you want to eat your dinner, you got to make sure you clean. Which means, in part, you got to be more clean than unclean, O ye sons of Israel. Be it Aaron or not, just throwing it out there. We got laws, statutes, and commandments, brothers and sisters. Shalom, Elon, Yisrael. So if the priest set the standard and they were commanded to eat meat, who is anybody to say that that was man-made? And again, if the laws in Leviticus were man-made, we know how Leviticus will read. Deuteronomy 18. The priests, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi shall have no portion, nor inheritance with Israel. They shall eat the offerings of Yah made by fire and his inheritance. Therefore, they shall have no inheritance among their brethren. Yah is their inheritance, as he has said unto them. And this shall be the priest's due from the people, meaning the Gadite, the Danite, the Naphthalite, the Manassite, the Judite. This is all right what the other tribes would give to the tribe of Levi, namely of the house of Aaron. From them that offer a sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep, they shall give it unto the priest, the shoulder, and the 2 cheeks and the maw. So that means when you go and bring a sacrifice, be it ox or sheep, certain parts of that already belong to the sons of Aaron to eat. That is the built-in welfare system in Israel. That already in the Israelite culture has a food pantry already started. It is not, I got, get yours. It's, if I got, I'm going to help out as much as possible. Let me know how I can be of any assistance. That's Israel. Let's go on. The first fruit also of thy corn, of thy wine, of thy oil, and of the first fleece of thy sheep, that shall give him. So the first fruits of your corn and your wine, the first things that you gather to make the wine, the corn, and oil, and the fleece of the sheep, which is part of their fur, you got to give to the sons of Aaron. The sons of Aaron get first dibs in that case. See how Israel is interdependent. Personally, I don't drink wine by buying it and saying, I'm going to kill this bottle. That's not my style. That's not me. I don't go into the liquor store and say, I want this for myself. But Yeshaya ben Yisrael's personal choice to not drink wine, which is yayin, or strong drink, which is mishteh, is Tayshawn's business. Tayshawn, a.k.a. Yeshaya, who decides to do and drink what he wants, I cannot impose that on another brother or sister when the Most High has already granted it. Jeremiah chapter 35 or 36, it speaks about the sons of the Israelites who were told by their dad to not drink any wine, and how they were given a place in Israel forever for honoring their dad. So I'm saying all of that to say, if you choose to be vegetarian, just as much as I personally choose to not drink wine, Don't impose that on somebody else. That's more wine for the next person. That's more clean meat for the next person. Next slide. Leviticus 21, verse 16 to 22. And Yah spoke unto Moses, saying, speaking to Aaron, saying, whosoever he be of thy seed, in their generation that hath any blemish, let him not approach to offer the bread of his God. For whatsoever man he be that hath the blemish, he shall not approach a blind man or a lame, or he that hath a flat nose, or anything superfluous. So let me point this out, because there's a mistranslation, and I'll say this in no disrespect. The part that says a flat nose, black people got flat noses. All right? So, no, this is not a proper translation. The proper translation where it says flat nose is the word karum in Hebrew. The word karum means any disfigurement. It does not mean flat nose. All right? So we want to point that out for edification purposes. And family, with the time allotted, I would like to sit there and take out the time and do this, if we will, right? All right. I should have done it before, but let's do this in real time with the time allotted, right? Flat nose. All right. The translation as flat nose is not correct. All right. So I just wanted to point that out there for edification purposes. The portion that is poorly translated as flat nose in Hebrew means any disfigurement. All right. So let that be noted. So let's go back to this portion. Or a man that is broken-footed or broken-handed or crooked back or a dwarf or has any blemish in his eye or be scurvy or scad or has the stones crushed. That's talking about his genital area. No man that has a blemish of the seed of Aaron, the priest, shall come nigh to offer the offerings of the Lord made by fire. He hath the blemish. He shall not come nigh to offer the bread of his God. He shall eat the bread of his God, both of the most holy and the holy. So why did I want to go over that part? Because the built-in pantry system, welfare system of the house of Israel, the Aaronites get first dibs. Sometimes, depending upon the Aaronite situation, he can't do the offering, but he still got to eat. So he eats of the offerings that's there. What can this teach us, O Israel? Give. Give, Yisrael, give. That whole thing, I ain't giving. And then we wonder why the world treats us the way they do. Yes, to know who to you do good unto. That's what Sirach says in the Apocrypha. Because some people don't deserve the good that the Most High has allowed you to be able to give others. But to have a heart to say, I ain't giving, that's not us. That's not our style. We only live one life. Next slide. All right, you know what a flat nose thing reasoning. It is one thing to say, while we do not have our own farms to a great extent, that we should eat like Daniel eating pulse. It is another thing to say we should not eat meat whatsoever. Daniel's era extended from the time of the Babylonian Empire to that of the Medo-Persian Empire. Ezra was during the timing of the Persian rule. Ezra 6:18, and they set the priests in their divisions and the Levites in their courses for the service of God, which is at Jerusalem, as it was written in the book of Moses. And the children of the captivity kept the Passover upon the 14th day of the first month. For the priests and the Levites were purified together, about being clean. Don't say Israel got OCD. It talks about being clean and purified. All of them were pure and killed the Passover for all the children of the captivity, and for their brethren the priests, and for themselves. You see how they put themselves, quote, last? For the children of the captivity that were there, and for their brethren the priests, and for themselves. Not I do me, and then you do you. And the children of Israel, which will come again out of captivity, and all such as has separated themselves unto them from the filthiness of the heathen of the land, to seek the Lord God of Israel did eat. You see how we talk about separating from filthiness and purifying and being clean? So be it spiritual, mental, or physical, Israelites should never think we got OCD. That's something that maybe some other nations made up. Did you know in slavery, they had a thing that they called droptomania? Droptomania was a supposed mental ailment where the people who were black wanted to be free and ran away. The slave masters in the 1850s coined a term called droptomania and said that these people have a mental illness because they don't want to be slaves. So to think that Israel got OCD is incorrect. Israel, we need to be clean mentally, physically, spiritually, and so forth. So let's go on, brothers and sisters. And kept the feast of unleavened bread 7 days with joy. Not, oh, it's another holy day. Oh, it's going on, with joy. For Yah have made them joyful and turned the heart of the king of Assyria unto them, to strengthen their hands and the work of the house of God, the God of Israel. So we wanted to point this out. This king of Assyria that's talked about was not an Assyrian king. It was during the time after you had Persia still ruling, where Assyria was. So when it says the king of Assyria, is actually talking about the Medes and the Persians that were ruling where the Assyrians were at. So that's what we want to point out for edification purposes. Next slide. Exodus chapter 12, verse 2 through 6. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, you shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto him unto his house take it according Todah, take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. You shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats. Again, will man say that? Or will man be like, you know what? Y'all, get it? You understand? Cut it up, cook it, barbecue fry it, feel me? Put it on the grill. We doing us. You seen that movie, Menace to Society? And I talk about that ever so often. Remember the part where Charles Dunton was talking to Lawrence Tate and to the guy, MC8, the rapper from Compton's Most Wanted, and they was at the grill. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but just using this as a point. What did in the movie Old Dog tell the lady at the grill? He may have not insulted her, but he yelled at her. Hey, yo, Keisha, hurry up and get this food for Mr. Such and Such. See, that's how men talk. Man may not think this is the person making your food. You don't want to yell at them. Do you think that the Israelites were being yelled at, knowing how people saw it, captivity or not? You know, we will sit there and not do something just because we were yelled at to do it. What is the point in all of this statement? These laws were not made by man. And ye shall keep it unto the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. Next slide. A sheep, a ram, and a lamb. This is a sheep. We want to show with the laser pointer, right? On the left-hand side. And we have a ram in the middle. And we have a lamb. A sheep and a ram make a lamb. The ram is the dad, the sheep is the mom, and the child is a lamb. A male lamb is never a sin offering in the house of Israel. A male lamb is never a sin offering in the house of Israel. A sheep, a ram, and a lamb, shown in a picture so we can see what we're talking about. Exodus chapter 8:26, and in the Hebrew, it's in verse 22. Most of the citations I'm using come from the KJV or the King James Version because many people already use that. And Moses said, "It is not meet so to do, for we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to the Lord our God. Lo, shall we sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians before their eyes, and they will not stone us?" So let's follow this in the Hebrew. Wayomer Moshe and Moses, he said, "Lo nakon, la asot kain." It is not correct to do so. Ki to abat Mitzrayim, for an abomination of Egypt. Nizbak la yore wahe Eloheinu, we shall sacrifice to the Lord our God. Hey Nizbak et to abat Mitzrayim. Behold, if we will sacrifice even the abomination of Egypt, let enehem to their sight, to their eyes, lo yisqualunu, will they not stone us? Saqual means to stone. So we want to point this out for Hebrew purposes. We're going to go over this in another portion. And a shout out to my brother More Eitan, who goes into Hebrew on Facebook very well. The prefixes, the suffixes, the nouns. Shout out to my brother More Shayel, if you're listening. Shout out to any of the brothers and sisters into the house of Israel who's into the Hebrew or not into the Hebrew. Next slide. The Bible, the website. The ancient Egyptians worshiped the ram. They called it Khnum. For the Israelites to worship their God, the Most High, and sacrifice in such the Egyptians revered as a god, takes us to, for I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt, I will execute judgment. I am Yah. So, brothers and sisters, the sacrifice of the Israelites and what they was doing was around the time when the Egyptians was worshiping the father of the land, which is the ram. So that's why Moshe said, if we do this in the sight of the Egyptians, they will stone the Israelites. You will have to understand certain things about Egyptian culture to understand the first 20 chapters of Exodus. Certain key points, once you understand the Egyptian culture and everything, where they're not that we worship the Neferu, we don't worship their Ennead or nothing like that. You understand? But I'll tell you this: when me and my lady was in Egypt, they had what they call the goddess Ma'at or whatever up in the hotel. And once we reversed that picture, they took that picture out that room. So, yeah, you got to stand up for what you're into, House of Israel. So let's go on into this. Danite Publications is the website. Closing out. There are Israelites who have their own farms and do their own agriculture. No disrespect, but to call meat eating a death diet is biased. Since once a plant is plucked from its roots, it too is dying. Some have told me when a plant is plucked from the earth, it is dying but not dead. The question is, when then does it die? Can we build with those who have land and get the animals we want from them? Why not? Go and find people who are into having their own land and animals, and let us become interdependent. Going to the same store to get the plucked plants is counterproductive to the argument of not eating meat, since we know the ground too is now suffering. They spray pesticides on these vegetables. They got seedless fruits. So we need to see what's going on and just become into our own selves. Next part. Support. This is from the brother More Eitan Ben Yisrael. All right, and what he's into and so forth. Brew Year Bash, hosted by Yehudi Gang. Save the date, April 2nd. Doors open 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Location, 625 Camp Bowie Boulevard in Texas, 76116. The tablets you see on the right-hand side is the work that the brother in the chat, More Eitan, does. I bought a set of this for my lady. He does great work. Mordechai Ibrit Eitan, my brother and friend. Support him. 8 colors to choose from: honey, red mahogany, charred, weathered gray, red oak, rusted brown, cherry, dark walnut. His Facebook link, where he can be reached through Messenger, is https://www.facebook.com/QADASHIYM ? Equal ZBWKWL. So I just want to point that out. You can pause this and you can sit there and look the brother up, Moray Aton, online and get a set of these tablets that is worth your time. All right. Just want to support the brother in that. Get these books. They're on Amazon. Egypt Talking Writing, Deuteronomy 28, From Averis to Alabama. Each of these books that you see are $12 each. So if you got Amazon Prime, you get all of that for less than $40. Me and my lady and me. I don't like my gray hair, but that's my personal thing. That has nothing to do with anybody else like that. On the left-hand side, we were in Brooklyn. On the right-hand side, we were in Manhattan. All right? And I want to say I have a lot of respect for this lady, for my lady, the best lady that I've had in my life in a relationship, hands down. And I hope and pray that it's prosperous and blessed by the Most High. For those who want the book, it is available on Amazon. Chronicles of a Black Woman's Soul, In and Out of Time, by Tanya Westbrook. The table of contents is this: Demoralized, Black Man, Redemption Song, Demonstrative, Little Kevin, Don't Touch Me There, Negro Woman, Mother's Love, Cornbread Fed, Color of Revolution, Black Beauty, This Time Around, Misery, Feeling for You, Feeling for Me. That is the table of contents of my lady's book. You can get that book on Amazon and also on barnesandnobles.com. Chronicles of a Black Woman's Soul, In and Out of Time. Westbrook, Westbrook, comma, Tanya M. The ISBN number, for those who are into looking up things like that, 979-8733-498-188. Again, her ISBN number for the book, 979-8733-498-188. All right, let's do this in the Hebrew. Tisha, Sheba, Tisha, Shemona, Sheba, Shalosha, Shalosha, Araba, Tisha, Shemona, Ekad, Shemona, Shemona. So that is the ISBN number to get that book if you want to get it. All right, that's a picture of me and her on that side, and that's the fish and fries that my lady made, and it was great. It's devoured. Support the quality of the sister's work. The wife of Roshama, the sister Fab Aim, has done flyers, videos, and much editing for me. I recommend her for those who want logos, editing, and videos done. Find Bayith Mazan on Facebook. BAYEETHMA apostrophe AZAHN on Facebook for those who are interested. All right? You want quality? If so, look no further. They who are of the Light magazine are great. I have no complaints. I have dealt with them in business for over 4 years, and I've never had a problem. They are professional, helpful, and supportive. They are operated by sisters and promote they of the Israelite community, be it in music, videos, and other matters. Contact them. Brew News Magazine at yahoo.com. BREWNEWSMAGAZINE at yahoo.com, as you see there. Next part. I recommend for an excellent Hebrew book on the Hebrew language, a book that inspired me to write this book. And when I say this book, I'm talking about the books that I wrote. All right. Contact Iman Shoshana Levy at her email, which is showlevy@aol.com. That is SHOLEVI at AOL.com. All right, next part. Conclusion. We ask you all to subscribe to the channel. More than Yeshaya Torah lessons. More of Yeshaya Hebrew lessons. The date coming, January 26th. Biblical Hebrew presentation. Get your pens, pads, and take notes. All right? Giving honor and praise to the Most High. Creator, maker of heaven and earth. Thus ends the presentation. Shalom, family. Hopefully everybody as well. Subscribe. Shalom.